Welcome everybody to Chamber.Media Tutorials. I am not JR, the comedy genius from Chamber.Media, but I am here with El Jefe himself, Travis Chambers.
Not Travis Chambers.
So for those of you that don't know, Chamber.Media is started by Mr. Travis Chambers, and today we are going to talk about how to make your first million in video.
Dollar bills, y'all.
Travis, what's the secret sauce?
Case studies is where it's at. So there's different ways to get case studies, but I always recommend getting a job first, because I think when you start from the ground zero without any type of credibility, you're going to have a really tough time. You can actually build case studies at a job. It's called a resume. And when you do need to go out on your own, then you can chase and hound people down, or you could even do it while you're at your job as a side hustle and offer to work for them for free. Because the reality is, if you're doing ad buying, for example, you're spending their money, and you do need to have case studies that are specifically and exclusively attached to your name. That's a really great way to get some momentum. And you got to get those dominoes falling, because people ask me all the time, Travis, how do I start making a living ad buying? Or how do I start making a living starting an agency, or really any service-based business? And that's the truth, is you just have to have case studies. Otherwise, no one will trust you. No one will believe you.
So when people are trying to get that case study, that first home run that they can take around and shop to other businesses, how do you suggest getting that first case study?
You have to find the person. One of the first projects that I got that turned into an actual case study was from my partner's at the time's uncle. Okay, we got this contract, we got a little bit of a case study. I was posting on LinkedIn about what I was doing. Now granted, I was only getting like 7 likes, but 8 likes on LinkedIn means like 100 impressions. Mm-hmm. Okay, now one of those people saw it, and they're like, could you get us some influencers for Acura? And I'm like, yeah. And I did. It was like a $25,000 deal. So then you have that little nugget, and that's how it starts compounding, is you got to find the one person. And
that you just know you can be the peanut butter to their jelly.
Yes. You have to talk somebody into it. And that's it. There is no trick. You cannot get by with tricks. And everyone wants to do it online. They want to do it all digital, and I'm not a fan of that. I'm thinking you've got to meet people in person. You got to hound people at conferences, ask people to go to lunch.
It's a digital world, but old school still pays off, especially in the beginning.
Everything is based on trust. Yeah. And there's just not a lot of trust.
You put it best, trust. People are giving you money and trusting you to do something. And that definitely comes with a personal connection.
If I look at the early days of Chamber.Media, the thing that set me apart from everyone else is no one else was willing to do the networking. Mm. No one else was willing to go to VidCon and just follow people around for 3 days and get like brushed off because you're so annoying. No one was willing to print a Vice President of Hulu sticker and use that to get into the VIP lounge to make friends with Logan Paul and then sell an Acura deal to Logan Paul back in 2012. That's what it takes. And a lot of the guys I've seen in the media industry that have made it big, that's what they did.
Got to think outside the box. This is an outside-the-box creative industry, and I think it goes to say you got to be creative.
You got to buy the ticket, and you got to go. That's what works. And then what happens is when you start rapid firing in these networking scenarios with people, you get instant feedback. You don't get feedback online. Mm. Not really.
It's easy to get gaffed off or ignored, left on red.
Like if I have 500 followers on Instagram, mostly from high school or whatever, and I post my work or my case study on Instagram, do you think I'm going to get really valid feedback?
No.
Or high volume? No. But if I go to VidCon and I follow these people around and I just literally sniper people's name tags to decide who to talk to, even though 80% of them are just like, get away, you little twerp. I'm going to pitch them. And I'm just going to read their face. And I'm going to learn everything I need to know from their face. And I'll tell you this. The second I went from, well, I run ads and I make videos and I do it together. That was an eye roll and a walk away. When I got to, we have 3x the revenue of 5 multi-million-dollar companies. That is when everybody started paying attention. Yeah. You got to get numbers. You got to get permission from the clients to disclose as much information as you can. And multiples, I have found, are the best. We helped this client go from this to this. This is specifically what we did in this amount of time. I haven't gotten very much success with, we made this ad and it outperformed the industry by 30%. That's when I started getting yeses. And that took 3 years of hounding people.
Nice. So it doesn't happen overnight. You got to put in that effort, that grind. For anybody that is unaware, watch some of our old videos. A case study is when you can kind of use, for lack of a better word, just science or numbers to prove something. It's not a, hey, I'm amazing, I make great stuff, look how pretty this is. It's, we have turned, this much money into this much money for this brand. We have grown them from this to this. And that is what people can put their trust in, something tangible that you can sell somebody on.
And that's really the problem with advertising, because when I started out, brand awareness and maybe even like social engagement were like the main KPIs back in like 2013. But to Tyler's point, it's the direct response performance. In e-commerce, it's all numbers. People think I can make pretty stuff or I can report on impression. Like, obviously you can't do that.
Yeah.
You gotta get ROI, and that's extremely difficult to get. And it takes 10 hits at the plate to get like one case study.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna take on 3 clients and get 3 case studies. You're not. You're gonna get 3. One of them might do okay, the other 2 are gonna fire you.
I think that brings up a good point of finding your niche early. We found our niche, like you had said, with just kind of combining the video and ads. That's nothing new right now, but there are still niches to be found. There are people, being the digital marketer for gyms or the digital market for artists or helping people on Etsy. If you find one of those early on, it puts you on kind of a path less traveled, and that's really going to make your success kind of exponentially grow and give you that steeper curve up to that million than trying to fight the crowd, just like you said, making pretty videos.
So I call it the 3rd level niche principle. And you have
Sounds
to be
fancy.
You have to be able to look at what you do and say, this industry is my niche. This is the niche that I have within that industry on this specific branch, and this is the niche I have within that. Mm. So you have to, all right, so I can't say I do marketing. I can't say I do, Facebook ads is probably the next thing. Mm-hmm. But you can't say I just do Facebook ads.
Yeah.
You have to be like, I do Facebook ads for women's boutique clothing stores.
Yeah.
Now, once you get that niche, that's where you can start getting referrals.
Yep.
And that was probably one of the mistakes I did, is I didn't really get quite even niche enough.
So once you've had your case studies, you got your home run, what is the next thing to do?
Yeah, so first you're picking up crumbs and you're giving anything anyone will give you. Yep. Right? Your case studies should match the chart of your prices. And what you need to do is you need to get to a premium high ticket price as soon as possible. Yep. And then defend that price.
You get those little crumbs. And then you start getting the bigger crumbs.
Little crummy crumbs. And then one day
you start charging for the whole cake.
You charge for the whole cake.
Yep.
And you say,
I'm not getting out of bed unless I get a cake.
That's right. And then you have to stop taking stuff, because the reality is what a majority of people do is they stay in that low priced market. Yep. Because they think that's all there is. See, because I was inside of an agency and I had a job, I had come across a paper on the printer that I was not supposed to see, which was $1 million production budget. For the Kobe versus Messi ad that I did all the ad buying and media strategy for. And I was blown away. Yeah. And I looked through the line items and I realized that people charge $1 million for a one-day shoot. The next piece of advice is within 2 or 3 years, you cannot plan on referrals to scale a business. Yeah. You cannot, I can tell you this, you cannot grow a business beyond 2 or 3 million with just referrals. You don't know now? Tyler and I tried.
We tried, and it wasn't working.
So we were doing $2 million when I hired Tyler. Yep. Tyler worked in my attic in my house. He literally walked in the garage door and went up the fire escape ladder, and then I would join him in the attic with no windows. I could tell you, we did $2 million the year prior from me beating down doors. And that was, I think, 4 years of me doing it.
4 years of doing it.
And you came in, 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
3 years.
So then I start noticing I'm getting some engagement on LinkedIn. So now I'm adding a second traffic source, right? Which is LinkedIn organic leads. I brought Tyler in to help me with that effort, and he crushed it. And we added $1 million to Chamber's revenue. We got to $3 million, and that's when we thought, okay, we got to run ads. We got to get a traffic source. So that's the thing I'll recommend to you, is you're not going to build a 15+ multi-million-dollar company on referrals.
Yep.
That's how you're going to get from 0 to 1. That's not how you're going to get from 1 to 10.
Yeah.
We started running ads, and then we went from 3 million to, like, I don't know, 16 million. Should be 23 this year. And then once you build up the case studies, you've got this high ticket premium offering, and you've got a brand. That's when you can offer cheap stuff again. Cheap automated stuff that junior level people can do. And that's when you can run ads. Because it's really hard to run ads to something that's 100 grand, 50 grand. You got to have the small stuff to fill in and make that spend profitable. And that's what we did. And that's all she wrote. And that was a freaking 7-year process figuring that out. You guys just got that all in 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Send this to 10 people.
Yeah.
And have them send it to 10 people so that we can at least get some ad revenue off of this.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
And if you don't send it to 10 people, you get bad luck or something.
Oh, let me add. What percentage of people in video are just one-off video bros? 96,
Majority.
97%? Because they just don't think this way.
If you want to stay in video, if you want to make the money in video, it's a great career path to be in. It's fun being creative, but you got to get that business mindset. You got to start thinking long distance to make this all worthwhile.
What do we call it? The third level niche.
Third level niche. That's good.
Industry, your part of the industry, your niche within that subset.
All right, everybody. That is the crash course on how to make your first million in video. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Let us know anything that you would like to learn in the future. We are a full service ad agency. We do everything from creative, pre-production, post-production, ad spend, copywriting, you name it.
Give us a jingle and we'll make your heart tingle.
There you go. Give us a jingle.
A jingle means a subscribe button.
Oh, good day. Go for it anyway.
We're good.
All
We
right.
got it. We got it in the can.
Now go take this information and go do something
Shove
awesome.
it up your ass.